Hey Rangers, today we're looking at the S.H Figuarts Super Saiyan Son Goku Super Warrior Awakening version, and oh my god, I love the box. The figure inside looks amazing. I can't wait to actually see what's inside. But the box is slightly different compared to previous ones that we've seen, and you'll see that later on in the video. So first of all, we have this lovely window display right here. It says Dragon Ball Z Fun Animation. It has the logos, it has a lovely picture of Goku just there, and again in grey. The lettering, it stands out perfectly. On the side it's just a window side box, and on the back it's just literally all the versions of Goku that you can, and here it says that you can get it separately. I thought you got the aura with it, but it comes separately. And again on this side we have more kind of pictures of Goku. The top is a window display, and the bottom is just the text. So let's have a look at this bad boy and let's have a look inside. Here he is, Goku Warrior Awakening. He looks absolutely amazing. I love the colour of his hair, the orange and the yellow working really well together. His eyes are focused and on point, and again his mouth is a little bit kind of slanted, but that's absolutely fine. When we look at his move down to his upper torso, the definition in this is just crazy. You can see that there's different skin colours. They've really gone all out for this figure. One thing I have noticed, his nipple is way over there. I think it should have been in a little bit. I think that's the only gripe I can really come up with, but literally it's just amazing. His shirt is ripped, and we all know as soon as he is battle damaged, Goku means business. When we look at his arm here, there's different colors. It's there's black, which is like a dirt, which looks fantastic. The muscle definition, everything. Even when you look at his kind of torso coming in here, you know that this is a very posable figure, and this will look absolutely fantastic on display. As we move down here, we can see that literally his belt and the top part of his gi are just ripped, and it gives that stand-outishness. It gives that whole fighting mode. Now, one thing I didn't notice until I was zoomed all the way in is there are little marks all over it where it's been teared, it's been ripped, it's been dented, and looks like battle damage. This just looks fantastic and gives the model a whole new range of life, and it brings something completely different. I would love to see more characters battle damage like this, because this really stands out to me. Even when we come down to his arms here, we see more definition, and again the joints that I do like. And obviously here we've got the kind of wristbands that he wears. When we look at his kind of hands, his default hands, again they stand out more than I've seen any other kind of Dragon Ball Z Figuarts hand. We see there's ruffles where the gi would be, where Goku would be fighting, and the fact is that when you come down to here, his kneecaps, or his knee shall I say, is just literally, I like this more. This to me stands out more than a figure than the previous Gokus and say Piccolos and Gohans. When we look at the kind of the ripped, it just stands out. This really to me makes the figure, as I've already said. As we come down to his boots, this really looks like a proper boot to me that Goku would wear all the way through from up to leaving Earth to go to Namek to fight Frieza. We see there's an orange line that's going down, and we can see that here there is yellow strings. Now, one thing I don't like about this at the moment on this particular model is, I don't know if it's on all of them, but on the yellow you can see that the blue has kind of run in, and then there's little kind of orange part, so you know that this is probably sprayed orange first and then the detail has been added. But you can see the knots, which looks really cool, and I like this part around here where you can see that there is kind of burnt, there is dirt, there is battle damage, there's everything that you would see from the fight between Goku and Frieza. With all iconic Dragon Ball Z characters, especially Goku when he goes into Super Saiyan, you can see that there's multiple strands that go up, and especially when you've transformed for the first time, this looks absolutely amazing. When you look at his back, there's loads of muscle definition, and they've taken their time sculpting in to make this one beautiful figure. When we run your finger, or when you get to do it yourselves, you can actually feel like it would be his proper back. That his muscles are there, all tense, waiting to fight. I like the fact that with his shirt, they've not just made it like a straight line. They've actually taken the time to actually sculpt in the ruffles, the parts where it would be like he was fighting properly. Now, I didn't notice this before, but we can see here and here that there's kind of dirt lines. This shows that they've put time and effort into making this properly. With going down, we can see it's where the top part of his gi has been ripped off and shattered and gone somewhere. Where we look down at his legs, and there's more detail around the back of the legs, which I'm really impressed of. We can see that this is where his butt is, where the gi would be comfortable, and again on his legs where they'd be ruffled, so it's padded and it looks so cool. Now, before I mentioned that I didn't like the joints, but these don't look that bad compared to Gohan, Piccolo, everything like that. This to me is not that bad, but again, it doesn't bother me as much as the others did. I like the fact that the kind of here, when looking at it, it's like the wind sweeping it that way, so it's kind of stayed that way, where this one is kind of like it stays normal and it's absolutely fine. When we look at his boots, again, they just look very similar to what it is in the series, and that's what I really like. I have noticed that there's some paint issues, but it's nothing for me to go like, what the hell, it's ruined the entire figure. With all figures, we look at the stress test, we know that his boot moves around just like that, and again his boots are in there. You've got the toe thing again, which pretty much all Figuarts have, so if you want to place them on a rock or in a fight scene, sometimes they're a little stiff to begin with, but we can move his legs. His legs move just like that. Okay, so does the other one. His arms move around very easily and bend quite quickly. It's a little bit stiff to begin with, so just be careful. So let's have a look at the knees. Now, when you move the knee, it looks absolutely cool. Even like that, it looks like he is ready to fight, and this is possibly one of the best looking Dragon Ball Z figures I've seen, and looks more like it would be in the anime. So it bends. So we're looking at his torso. Now, the instructions say that you can bring this up a little bit, but just be careful because you don't want to ruin it, or you don't want it to come down. So I normally keep it at standard. His head moves around quite easily and feels quite loose, but without pulling or anything, you should be fine. You can move his head up and down, looking around, so that's quite cool in its right. His hands as well kind of move around very easily. Yeah, so let's have a look at his face. All the Figuarts, as well as any other figure, if it comes with multiple faces, we'll have a look. Now, again, it's very similar to all the other Gokus. Pull off his head like that, and his face. Now, they will be stiff for the first time. There we go. So just be careful. Don't force it. If you think you're going to force it, just leave it and come back to it a bit later. So now that we've added in his hair like that, I really like this because previously on the other Goku head, the thing kept falling off the front part, and this stays in quite well. So when we look at Goku's head, he looks really kind of like, "Ah, I'm gonna get you, Frieza! I'm gonna beat you!" So we can see that his teeth are just there, and they've not just left it all white. I think you can actually see some of the teeth if they've sculpted it. If not, you've got that kind of way he's clenching his teeth down for the first time type look, which looks really cool. So we take away his head. See, it's now a lot easier to kind of like take the others off. This is the one that kind of interested me the most. Just be careful, because when you actually put the head back in, if you're touching the spikes, they are sharp, so just be careful. So when looking at getting this one, the face kind of proved it a bit, made me go, ooh, that's quite interesting. You have a screaming face. Now, I know the other Goku had one, but I really like this one because it feels more animated. It feels more like he is actually screaming at someone rather than just a generic looking out. So they've really added to this one. Even looking at the ears, see this little dirt in his ear just there and there. This really makes it. I like the fact that they've put the tongue in. Again, it's just screaming at anyone because he's so angry that this power is raging through him. You can definitely see the differences in the boxes, where originally with all the other ones from the probably Dragon Ball Z Kai range to the latest ones, you have like this whole different text here. You have the window display and this kind of like dotted thing rather than this thing. I prefer this sort of box because it just shows more of the model and it makes you want to buy it. If I saw Goku, if I hadn't have got Super Warrior Awakening version, for me I would have probably gone for this one, but I love the display of this box. I think that if they do make more of them, it should all come like this one. So I kind of really wanted to show the different styles of Goku that you could get. Now I only have 3, as you can see, and you can definitely tell by the progress. Well, I think this is my favourite Goku just because of the colour detail. His gi is a little bit more to what I think of the show. And then literally you've got here, just like it's too much yellow, and then obviously with the Super Saiyan God hair, but you can tell that there's the different shading as well. One thing that if you did want to kind of like take Goku's head, I'm sure you can pop it off, and then if you wanted to kind of add, if you have the Super Saiyan God and you wanted to kind of just take off Goku's head and replace it with his kind of normal head, then you can do. So if we take him and kind of add his head, it does give the figure a little bit more detail and a little bit more life compared to, like, say, the normal like standard head that comes with it. It kind of reminds me a lot of Goku when he's like fighting Cell. Again, if we take this head and kind of add it onto there, it kind of really does, you can tell just by doing the head, there's a lot more detail to him. So I just kind of really want to show him with this head. So if we put this head on, it looks really menacing, like he really is going to fight someone, especially, I say, Golden Frieza. But just the detail of adding this head, I think it might be the color scheme working with this, but this looks absolutely awesome. There we go, Rangers. There is Super Saiyan Son Goku Super Warrior Awakening version, and oh my god, that was a mouthful, but this is an absolutely amazing figure. I love the way that it is colored, I love the way that there are multiple different parts, and I love the way that it looks like it's straight from the anime. He is definitely worth getting. If you can find him, add him to your collection. I highly recommend it. So Rangers, let me know about your thoughts. Do you like the figure? Do you not like him? What are your thoughts? Let me know down below in the comments. Would you get him? Would you not? And if you've liked this video, like, favorite, comment, and subscribe. Check out Yada Games, all that lovely goodness. And as always, Rangers, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in a bit.